Hey y'all, what's up? So I hope everybody is happy, healthy, hydrated, and all that good stuff. So today we are going to talk about spiritual gifts, but not only spiritual gifts, but how healing should be required when you have spiritual gifts or any type of gift. So there are a lot of people on this app and just in the world in general who are very blissfully blessed with the gift of discernment, sight, speaking, being clairaudient, all of those things. So with that being said, when people have a platform, a lot of people aren't really mindful of what they say and how they say it. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to really be clear about is when I started speaking on this platform, I wanted to be very mindful about what I said. Now, do I say things in a way that can be very motivating? Yeah, to some I may. And do I say some things a little bit like, hey, you need to... Sometimes I do have that tough talk with people. It may not be on this platform per se, but definitely off the platform, like with my close, intimate relationships with friends and family. But I do it all out of love, but I'm still very mindful about how I say things. But one of the things I had to understand with me having the gift of sight and having the gift of healing, that it was required for me to start healing myself. Now, healing is a ongoing lifetime journey. I have never seen someone just say like, oh, I made it to the mountaintop, I'm healed, because you're still gonna endure things in your life that could possibly trigger something that you had no idea that you buried. That's happened to me numerous of times, to where I got into a situation, I'm like, whoa, all right, I still need to work on this, or I'm still not over this situation. I'm still not healed past this situation. I need to address I need to address why I'm triggered by this. And once I did that work, I discovered why and how and what I needed to do in order to help, so I don't go into another situation carrying this same resentment or feelings. So with that being said, I'm a life coach, and I would advise anybody out there who does any type of healing work or has clientele that you just really be transparent, open, and honest. But one of the things that I had to learn was my healing came first, most importantly. In order for you to try to heal someone else, you have to be willing to do the work as well to heal yourself. So with that being said, I had to address old patterns. I had to address a lot of things that I was carrying before I really opened myself up to other people who needed me. And I say, yeah, who needed me, because there are a lot of people out there that I have encountered that I've made them think about situations. And my tactic is I just really let the person talk. I don't really go into what you shouldn't do this, and don't do that, and don't be. Now, if I have a close, intimate relationship with you, I'll be like, girl, you may not want to do that, or honey, you may not, please don't. But I'm more so of like I can really just get you to think, like, how you think this would benefit you, like, in the future if you don't set this boundary. What do you think will happen? Or how do you feel things would happen if you don't do this or do X, Y, and Z? My thing is just listening and asking you questions just to get you to think and feel and step outside and look at the situation, because sometimes, myself included, I've been in certain situations to where I just didn't look at it that way. I'm just like, I don't know, my mind was just so clouded. But trying to stay on subject here, but I really had to do that work and just really like say, okay, Alexis, this is time that you need to address this, in order for you to help the next person. Because if you are not healed and you're giving advice to other people, because I've seen people on a lot of platforms, they have encountered a similar situation that they're attempting to help somebody through, and they're so jaded that they give them advice off of what they have been through. And no lie, I've done that in the past as well. I'm like, ooh, well, I don't know, because girl, when I went through that, X, Y, and Z happened. And that is not always the case. So you have to be very mindful of how you are coaching and speaking to people. If you are in a position of leadership and guidance, is very important. And my job is to never make anybody feel bad about their decisions, because we have all made choices in this world that we cannot take back. So it's about how you move forward with that. You know what I mean? So when I had that responsibility of, just speaking and trying to help people, I always wanted to be mindful about how I came across. You know what I mean? So with that being said, like, I really had to roll my sleeves up and do that big girl healing. I'm like, okay, well, you ain't really healed through this situation here, so you're gonna have to do a little bit more work, just so when the next person comes along, you'll be able to help and allow yourself to be a little bit more vulnerable. Because one thing about it, when doing life coach work or any type of work, you have to really be vulnerable, with your clients or with people that you love. But I say that to say this, like, don't be afraid of, really rolling your sleeves up and going like very deep within yourself. Because at one point I was afraid of that, because I didn't know what I was going to uncover. So I think that is really mindful, because a lot of people get on here and they're jaded and they will give you some advice because they didn't have the best situation. And I think that can be very, very dangerous. I've seen people with huge platforms get on there and tell people, well, y'all don't need to do this or you don't need to do that because I've done this and such this happened. And it could be very, very, very dangerous, because you are feeding people. Because when you open up this app, you consume. So I would just say, like, have a sense of self. Just know, if you follow someone, even with me, a lot of the stuff that I say is not going to resonate with people. That's why I always preach, have your own sense of self. Take what you can from people, but don't just like, oh yeah, this is the only way just because they said it. No, because if I'm saying something, you may do it an entirely different way. You know what I mean? And that way may be healthier for you. I just never want people to think like, oh, well, I must do it exactly like this because Peace, Breathe, and Be, she does it like this. No. Everybody's going to have their different, things that they go through and want to do it by. So with that, I'm going to end this video. But thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. And I love y'all so much. And I will see you on the next upload. Bye.